Las Vegas Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce said it was the best team in the NFL against the worst team in the NFL. As the great Bill Parcells says, you are what your record says you are. If that's the criteria, Pierce is right. The Raiders went in tied for the worst record in the NFL at 2-9, and the Kansas City Chiefs went in with the best record in the NFL at 10-1. It was supposed to be some easy work for the Chiefs, but nope. You gotta throw out all the records and stats when it comes to Raiders Chiefs. You gotta throw out all the injuries the Raiders have too. This is the biggest rivalry in the NFL, and it's not even close because it starts with the owners. So no matter what, both teams got to show up, and both teams did. And even though they only scored 17 points, the Raider offense is starting to show up. Sincere McCormick deserves a chance to start. The Raiders' running game has been non-existent all year until Week 12 against the Denver Broncos. Sure, the offensive line was a lot better with Jackson Powers Johnson taking over at center and Joe Philbin taking over as the offensive line coach. But at the same time, McCormick looks like he's better than Zamir White and Alexander Mattison at making guys miss. He's also stronger than you think and can break some tackles. Oh, he has great vision to see holes anywhere on the line of scrimmage too. He doesn't always need the biggest holes to get through the line either. He came in off the bench and ran for 64 yards and 12 carries today after coming off the bench to run for 33 yards on 5 carries in Week 12. He's averaging 5.7 yards per carry right now. That's way better than any of the other Raider running backs. Yeah, I know he hasn't done it as the guy the defense has to stop, and no one has really game planned for him. However, he has definitely earned the right to start and see how he does with all the defenses setting themselves to stop him in the running game. Then the Raiders can find out. Talk about earning the right to start. You gotta love what quarterback Aiden O'Connell did today. He threw for 340 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a passer rating of 116.4 in his first game back from thumb surgery. He brought back the vertical game too. GM Tom Telesco made a big mistake here. O'Connell ended up injured, so he missed time anyway, but the Raiders would have started the season a lot better if O'Connell was the starter. Pierce is not to blame for this. He said during the offseason that O'Connell is his guy and that whatever quarterback the Raiders may get has to beat him out. As you know, O'Connell didn't appear to make that jump to year 2 in the preseason, but Gardner Minshew didn't beat him out either. The GM decides who plays more often than you think, especially when they spend money on a player in the offseason. Telesco is great at drafting but not so good in free agency, and he got fired for the decisions he made for head coaches. He doesn't get credit for Christian Wilkins because he came looking to play with Max Crosby. The Raiders might want to start locking him out of the building until draft season. That's one area he's proven his value in. The coaching changes on offense are paying dividends for the Raiders. The Turners have made them predominantly a power gap scheme team running the ball, and offensive line coach Joe Philbin is drilling it into them. The result is they've averaged over 4 yards per carry in both games they've been in charge. This is very important because Pierce's whole identity for the Raiders offense is based on running the ball. I don't know if it's because the Raiders are running the ball better or it's because they trust O'Connell more. It could be both, but the Turners got the vertical game going today. With all the attention on tight end Brock Bowers, the Turners got Jacoby Myers going. Among other catches, he had a 43-yard catch. Once he got going, they got Bowers one-on-one coverage, and he had a 33-yard catch. That was one of his 10 on the day for 140 yards and a touchdown. What a stud he is. And of course, that would make way for speedster Trey Tucker to finally get going with the deep ball. He had a 58-yard touchdown catch in the game. That helped the Raiders outgain the Chiefs 434 yards to 329 yards. For 2 games in a row, the Raiders have outgained their opponents. Those are 2 highly ranked defenses too, but let's talk about today. To put forth 434 yards on a highly ranked defense is a big deal to me. Do they still have some things to clean up? Absolutely. They can start with the red zone, but they're at least moving the ball and giving that injury-riddled defense sufficient rest now. It also shows what the Raider offense can be with a halfway decent quarterback. If the Raiders get a quarterback in the next draft, they're going to turn things around quickly. As you saw today, they really aren't that far off as a team. Thank you for watching. See you next time.